a shotgun rider, cruise through the country, maybe pulling all-nighter. Every little body needs a Clyde decider. Come on, baby, be my shotgun rider.
Let's get back here for another edition of The Scoop. We got a couple of former Hoosiers here as guests.
As I like to say, Kyle, look what the cat dragged in right here. We got guys back in the off-season. In all seriousness, these are two of the greatest baseball players to ever don the cream and crimson. Would you agree?
I would say that's a pretty good fact right there.
Sitting to my immediate left is Josh Phegley. If those of you Hoosier fans remember Josh, he was an All-American. I mean, his list of accomplishments, Kyle, he was an All-American.
First-round pick.
He was a Team USA trial. Dickerson got him on that. Josh just went to the trials. What happened, Josh? Never mind. We'll talk about that. But first-round draft pick, AAA All-Star this season. Also, we recently learned he won the AAA Gold Glove. Catcher threw out how many? 52%.
Somewhere in
there.
48.
48, around 50% of the runners. And just recently finished second place in the Governor's Cup, which is pretty much the championship of AAA, right? Mm-hmm. And when he was in when he was in Indianapolis, they had a couple games, and you smacked a couple homers when you were in Indy, didn't you?
I did.
So if you only played your entire season in the state of Indiana, you would be in the big leagues already.
Against the Pirates.
Against the Pirates, that's right. So big Alex Dickerson here. Finished up his career in the Hoosier land in 2011. He too was an All-American. What I think was really cool, accomplished one of the most rare feats you could ever do in baseball, was a Triple Crown winner when he was in Indiana. Third-round pick. He did beat Phegley because he actually made Team USA, but was just recently named, and this was really cool too, had a great summer last year in the Florida State League and was the MVP in the Florida State League, and that's quite an accomplishment. I think it's not April Fool's, so maybe this isn't a joke, but did you tell me you were voted the best defensive first baseman in the Florida State League?
I actually was. Trust me, I was shocked as well.
Well, so there you have it. But anyway, what we thought we would do with this, just because the guys come back in the offseason, it's always fun to catch up with some of our former players. And again, the guys, there's more out there, but these are the only two that have been coming around here, so we thought we'd put them on the show. So where are you other guys?
And their timing can't be any better, Skip. They're coming back. Today's Scout Day.
It is Scout Day.
Obviously, it was an important day for these two.
We got a little piece of that coming up here, don't we?
We do.
Well, what we did is we kind of put it out there. If you had a question, you could tweet me a question, because I wasn't going to sit here and bore you with my questions. I wanted to hear what the fans had to say. So let's get started. You guys ready to answer a couple questions from some of our fans out there? This one, and this is kind of a generic here. This comes from Scott Lee. From where?
Not sure.
Scott from
Dartown?
But he's Oxford now.
Oh, well, you screwed me up with the Lee part.
Scott from Oxford. We'll ask both of you separate. What's your opinion on Adam Greenberger's one-day contract with the Marlins so he could get his one at bat? And that was taken away by the head injury and his only plate appearance in MLB. What's your thought on that?
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it might be a little bush league to throw him up against R.A. Dickey, but
yeah, because I saw that last time on Sports
moment.
Center.
Yeah.
He punched out.
Well, I mean, there's no shot against that guy, but it was pretty cool. It was a nice thing for the Marlins to do. It's pretty exciting for that guy.
I think just, the fact that he didn't quit trying, he made it back, and he didn't give up, and he realized his dream, with one at bat in the big leagues. And
so no animosity by either one of you that here are two guys that are busting their tails every day. I mean, it's a legitimate question, and that they kind of give. I mean, he earned it, albeit in 2005. What was his last? It was a while ago. So there's no animosity. I mean,
well, he wore one in the head. I think he earned it.
He earned it.
He earned it about as tough as he could.
You guys will be there someday anyway, so I agree. This is kind of a little bit off the wall question here, and I don't know if you're qualified to answer this. This comes from John Kripe. Is there a better barber or bus driver than Big Smitty?
Probably not.
Had a lot of bus drivers, but no.
Big Smitty.
He is the best.
And how does he always find his way onto our show? Even when this is about
not just our show, he finds his way on the Big Ten Network.
On the Big Ten
He's got a face for TV, apparently.
John, we have no idea where that question came from, but we do appreciate it. This comes from R. Pori something. All right, were Josh Were either of you, so I'll let you answer separately, were either of you multi-sport athletes in high school? You can take that one first.
I was. I played football and baseball in high school and did pretty well at both. Actually had a couple offers to do both in college, and the university that I did choose shut me down and said I wasn't able to do that. So it was a smart thing. You know, I don't think a running back and catcher would be a good combination. My legs, I'd probably be in a wheelchair in this room.
So you played football and baseball. How about you, Alan?
I played football my first 2 years, and then after my back injury, I stuck strictly to baseball.
So, like, when you did, how much time? This is the second part of the question. How much time did you guys spend training not during baseball season, but the off season for baseball to prepare?
In high school?
In high school.
For me, I mean, I lived in California, so it was legitimately, I never had a break. Even when I was playing football, I was still kind of doing it on the side. It was an everyday thing for me because the weather allowed it. Probably a different story for Phegs.
Yeah, not much.
Oh, really?
Not much. Well, we'd have early workouts in high school. We could go before school and hit in the cage, but that's very limited. So we'd play catch and lift and take a couple rounds in the cage, and that was all we could do.
And I can tell you, neither one of these guys played basketball because we would do that in our off-season conditioning, and these are two of the worst basketball players you've ever seen in your life.
No chance.
Right.
I'm probably the better of the two.
From Indiana.
This comes from, I know you've met him, and I don't know, Josh, if you have or not, but Alex and Josh. This comes from Steve. Steve Sandy, former teammate of mine back at Miami from back in the day. You're both in the middle of a long pursuit of becoming Major League Baseball players. You put in a ton of hard work, and you still got a lot of hard work to do. There are thousands of young kids with the same dream who are just getting started down that path and have all the work in front of them. From where you stand, is all of that time worth it? And what are some of the rewards along the way that have come with that work?
I mean, absolutely, it's worth it. You don't get to where we're at right now without, taking it seriously every day for a very long time. I mean, hell, we never took a day off. We never.
We're gonna bleep that one, aren't we?
I think that one's allowed.
Oh, okay.
I see it on TV nowadays. And, I mean, you work hard every day, and you never know where you can get to. Like, I'm looking back now and realizing, every day in practice, you take it seriously, you take your reps seriously, you can get yourself a long way in this game.
He said a lot about, how all the work is worth it. But I think some of the accomplishments you run into from putting in the time is every level you make it to, from Little League on up, you just see that you can compete at that level and you can play, and then you make it to the next level and you can compete there. And I think every level you get to, you're weeding out thousands of people that have been there and didn't make it past that point. And so, I mean, for me personally, being in AAA, a lot of guys don't make it there, and to compete there, that's a it's a big accomplishment. And you can just say, not a lot of guys made it here, and I'm competing and playing well.
And I would say both of you, in all sincerity here, have a realistic chance of making the big leagues. You were blessed with talent and body and strength, but I will also say that these were two of the hardest workers that have come through our program, so that's good. So just now tying it back into the Indiana thing here, what's maybe for each of you, maybe your most memorable moment as a IU baseball player that you can recall?
It's hard to delete that Big Ten tournament. My freshman year, winning that thing, winning the whole thing, dominating the whole tournament was probably the biggest moment for me while I was here.
Were you in the bottom of the pile or the top of the pile there?
You actually told me before we did the dog pile to stay kind of in the back, so I kind of like snuck in there at the end.
I was at the bottom.
Yeah.
The very bottom.
Never listened, so why start then?
Well, I was doing push-ups at the bottom.
Yeah. So what about you?
Picture.
Piling on at the end of the Big Ten tournament, that was pretty special, but kind of just one moment I think that kind of turned the whole table with the IU program was that final series my freshman year against Minnesota. We spoiled their Big Ten championship, and
I remember you had a game-winning RBI, if I recall, the last game of the season.
Yeah.
See, I remember that. He didn't remember that.
Now that you mention it.
So, last question for each of you, because look at Kyle. He's sitting there. He looks like he's bored right now. Look at him back there. Last question. So, like, what would be some of the advice that you could tell if you were to the IU guys, like, about their career, about, hey, you know, work harder or whatever, you know, enjoy the. What would you say to them now that you've been through it and now you're in pro ball, having great careers? What would be one thing you'd tell the guys?
Enjoy every day. It goes by quick. You get to our point now. I mean, it doesn't seem like that long ago. I was a freshman stepping on this campus, and then all of a sudden I'm in pro ball, and kind of wish you had the college days back every once in a while.
And we'll because you like to study.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I would probably just say, you know, going through the college years, playing, it was kind of nerve-wracking. Like, it was kind of a new level of playing and a lot of pressure. And I would just say, the sooner you could take your mind out of it and just let your body take over, because, you know, you're here at IU because you can play the game. And if you can take your mind out of it and just play, you know, you'll be amazed at, you know, what the things you can do.
Well, and there you have it, Kyle. Those are two of the best ever, right?
We're in the record books. I mean, I think that's a pretty good spot to
pick
be.
up the record books; they're all over the place, and two of the best ever. And I appreciate both of you for coming on here today. I know our fans out there like to keep track of you and have been keeping track of you because Kyle does a great job of letting them know. But speaking of that pressure, Josh, we got Scout Day, Major League Scout Day today, and that's what we said to him was just everybody relax and have some fun today and see what happens. But Kyle, we got a little footage of Scout Day, don't we?
We headed out there earlier today, or later today. We'll head out there, and here's what we got.
Let's check it out.
Before we sign off for the day, we had a picture of the week.
Well, we do, and we got to thank Jay and Beth Basil, parents of shortstop Mike Basil. Here they are hiking in the Grand Teton in Wyoming, and you can see that in the background. I always love it out there, and but you got the Indiana baseball gear on right there, and I'm still disappointed though, Kyle. And I love the picture, but we want more pictures, don't we?
We could use a few more.
And what do? They have to send it to
baseball at Indiana.edu. They can tweet it at you at Hoosier
Baseball. My favorite
Baseball.
part of the show, though, right here. You're running that across right now, aren't you?
It's pretty good timing, isn't it?
Let me do that, and I can even do it with this hand right here. Did you see that? All right.
What a special talent you got there.
So again, we'll come at you again next week, and we're finishing down at Cream and Crimson starting next week. So I'm sure we'll have some updates from that. But thanks again. We'll see you next week on Skip Scoop.